Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in again today. I am here to do a major Tarte foundation comparison video. As you guys know, I'm a huge Tarte foundation fanatic. I love Tarte in general, but I have almost every foundation product that they've ever come out with, and it's a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through all the different Tarte foundations that I have and sort of what the similarities and differences are between them. Most of the ones that I have are available for purchase at Sephora or at Ulta, but a few of the ones that I have are only available on QVC.com or QVC, however you want to order from there. So I'm going to start with all the ones that are widely available first, and then towards the end hit on some of the ones that I have that are not available in stores right now. Just going to start off by saying, you know, a lot of these are very different, but a lot of them are very similar. So if I'm not able to articulate exactly how they're different, it's because I can't really find a major difference. So I'm going to do my best to sort of highlight all the similarities and differences as best I can. I'm also going to highlight which brushes they recommend using with each foundation, and whether or not I think that those are the best brushes to use. I'm going to start with those that have the lighter coverage and then work my way up to those that have the more full coverage. So starting off with one of their products that has been out for a long time, this is the Tarte Tinted Moisturizer. It's now called BB Tinted Moisturizer, but as you can see, I have this in the old packaging, but this is your sort of Amazonian clay tinted moisturizer. So the Amazonian clay is really good for balancing out combination skin tones. So if you have oily skin and you need, you know, oiliness to be absorbed, this is really great for that, while also being moisturizing. So it's not a tinted moisturizer that is just only good for people with really dry skin, which is why I really like this. I've tried tons and tons of tinted moisturizers, and this is pretty much the only one, other than maybe the NARS tinted moisturizer, that I ever really reach for, that I've ever really enjoyed using. So really like this. Very lightweight coverage though. So if you're looking for a medium buildable coverage or a full coverage foundation, this is definitely not going to be for you. This is one of their more hydrating formulas and also one of their lightest weight, sheerest formulas. So it's really just to help even out the skin tone, but you can wear it either alone or you can also use it a powder over it, like the Tarte Mineral Foundation, the Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation. You could put this over it if you wanted a little bit more coverage. But if you're just looking for a lightweight, everyday tinted moisturizer, this is great. So there's also the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment, and this is kind of marketed as a 12-hour primer, but in my opinion, it's very similar to almost like a lightweight foundation or a tinted moisturizer. So unlike the tinted moisturizer, this BB tinted primer is going to have more of a matte finish, a thicker consistency, and just have that more kind of mattifying effect on the skin. This one is sort of all about being sort of a pore minimizer, a skin brightener. So this is sort of marketed as that like BB cream type product, but they also say that you can wear this underneath a foundation and use it just as a primer. I find that this has enough coverage for me to just wear on an everyday basis with nothing on top. You know, again, you could put the Tarte powder on top, but this, I think, in my opinion, shouldn't be used as a primer. I think that it would be too heavy to wear this as a primer and then to wear a liquid foundation on top. That's just my personal opinion. I would not use this product that way. I know that's how it's marketed, but that's just my opinion. But I love this product, especially if you have oily skin or combination skin. Again, this is really great at mattifying the skin, making it look poreless, and just really beautiful. I prefer the BB primer over the tinted moisturizer. If I'm looking for a lightweight product to just throw on and go, I would reach for the BB tinted primer first, just because it is more mattifying and I think it has a little bit more coverage. The tinted moisturizer is going to be a little bit more moisturizing. So if you have drier skin, you'd probably like the tinted moisturizer more, but I personally like the BB tinted primer a little bit more just for my everyday use. As far as the next one is the Tarte CC Colored Clay Primer, and this is one of the brand new ones. This comes in sort of a stick applicator with the colored clay. As you can see, there's a green tone and pink tone colored clay corrector in here. And this is sort of marketed as a primer. And I think you could also wear this alone, or at least so they say that you can wear it alone. In my opinion, I would not wear this alone. I think this only works well as a primer. It is very lightweight, not a lot of coverage, and to me, the application method of having it in a stick, I found it very difficult to sort of apply it and get it to look really even and seamless on the skin. I had a lot of freckling showing through, a lot of redness, a lot of discoloration, and uneven skin tone poking through when I use this foundation, or I guess CC primer stick, whatever you want to call it. So I would not feel comfortable wearing this alone. I have seen reviews online of people wearing this alone, but for me personally, I just don't think that it's something I would reach for and run out the door. I think I would do that with the BB primer and the tinted moisturizer. I would feel very comfortable throwing these on and going, but I would not feel comfortable doing that with the CC primer stick. And I haven't used this enough to really say, but in my initial experiences, I am wearing it today underneath my foundation, but I haven't seen a major benefit in terms of longevity of your makeup when you wear this underneath. I personally prefer some of Tarte's other foundation primers, like the poreless one that comes in like a purple squeeze tube. Like this, to me, I didn't see any major benefits. I didn't think that it really corrected my skin that much, and I also didn't think that it made my makeup wear longer. I just didn't see, it doesn't do anything bad. I mean, I think I'm wearing it today, I think my skin looks nice, but I didn't notice a big difference when I either wear this or don't wear this. I found that I had a very similar result. So that's just my opinion on that. That's a new one. The next one is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation, which is basically a mineral powder. I do have a full-length review on this one. Absolutely love this foundation. This is going to be a medium to full coverage powder foundation with a natural kind of matte finish, but with a little bit of a dewiness to it as well. This comes with the Airbrush Kabuki. These together are perfection. If you're going to get the foundation, I would highly recommend getting the brush to go with it. The thing I love about this product is you can wear it alone, or you can wear it on top of, you know, the BB cream, the tinted moisturizer, or even the CC primer stick to sort of up the ante and to give you a little bit more coverage. So depending on sort of what look you're going for, you can make this be very lightweight, natural coverage, or very full coverage, kind of flawless look. But this is the only powder or mineral foundation that Tarte makes. So it's very unlike all of the other products, whereas the others that I was just talking about, you know, they're kind of similar in the coverage level, the consistency, and things like that. The next one is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. This is by far my favorite foundation of all of the ones that I'm talking about today. This is their sort of long wear, full coverage, liquid foundation, and it does have sort of a thicky, moussey consistency, very similar to the BB primer. The consistency of these two and the finish of these two are very similar, sort of that more mattified kind of satin matte finish that I personally love as someone with oily skin. Both of these are very thick and creamy. Probably more thick and creamy than the tinted moisturizer. So they have that sort of clay-ish texture and feel to them. But this one, I would say, of all of the ones are my favorite, not only because it's long wearing, it's full coverage, it has an amazing finish. It just makes your face look so airbrushed and flawless. I love the finish, and it comes in so many shades, and it comes in a ton of different undertones as well. Whereas, you know, this BB tinted primer doesn't come in that many shades. The tinted moisturizer does. So these two are better in terms of if you have a certain undertone. These two are going to be good in terms of being able to find a really great color match. But all in all, I think this is the foundation that sort of Tarte is famous for. It's the most well-known, and it's sort of like a staple product. If you're going to try one, if you're looking for sort of that more full coverage, more flawless look that's long wearing, definitely check out the full coverage. But if you're looking for something more lightweight, I would say check out one of these two. Okay, so those are all the kind of permanent foundation products that I have, and then I have 3 more that I'm going to touch on, and these are only available on QVC. The first one is the Tarte Colored Clay Foundcealer, and this is another new kind of colored clay product that Tarte just came out with. This is sort of a 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, and basically the only difference that I found between this one and this one is that this one is made with colored clay and this one is made with Amazonian clay. But to me, I couldn't really see a ton of difference between the two. I think they're very similar. This one might have a slightly, and I mean this by very slightly, more pigment or more coverage in it. It's sort of marketed as being able to be used as both a foundation and a concealer. It comes with this kind of double-ended brush on QVC. I love the brush, I love the product, I just couldn't really find a big difference between the regular Amazonian clay and the Foundcealer. I found that they were very similar. Even in their kind of color correcting abilities, I didn't think that the colored clay was really that much more amazing or provided much more of a benefit than my full coverage foundation, which is one of my all-time favorites. So, I don't know what else I can really say. The consistency is very similar. The longevity is very similar. The finish is similar. The only thing that I would say is that this Tarte, the full coverage one, maybe a little bit more creamy and also has more color selection. So I don't really know if I would recommend this one over this one. I think they're very similar. I like them both. But if I were to repurchase, I would probably just repurchase this one because it comes in more shades, and I think that I just like the consistency of it a little bit more kind of moussey creamy, whereas this one's a little bit thicker or maybe a little bit drier. But honestly, I can hardly tell any difference. This one is the Tarte BB Perfecting Liquid Foundation. This is another one that's only available on QVC right now. This one is definitely more liquidy than all the other ones that I've talked about. It's more dewy, it has less of a matte finish, but it's a little bit sticky on the skin. So I am someone that has normal to oily skin. I like a matte finish, which is why I really like the full coverage foundation and that kind of satiny finish that it provides. Same with the BB, but this one, this BB liquid foundation is much more dewy, much more glowy, and it doesn't really dry to like a powdery matte finish. It dries to more of a kind of dewy, radiant liquidy looking finish. It's very beautiful. It looks great. My problem with it is it doesn't really fully set, which I don't like. I find that I have to wear powder on top of this one to really get it to kind of set. It just has this sort of sticky, wet kind of feeling on the face. But great coverage, great longevity, very similar in terms of the effects that it has and just making the skin look great. But the major difference is just the finish. The coverage is the same, but just the finish is really the only thing that I found was different. And then the final foundation that I have by Tarte is the Amazonian Colored Clay Liquid Foundation, and this was just released in a QVC Today's Special Value kit, so you can only purchase this within that kit at this point. I don't know what Tarte's plans are to roll out this foundation, the Foundcealer, and then also the BB. These are 3 that, you know, aren't really out anywhere other than QVC right now. You can buy all of these on QVC, but you can't buy them anywhere else. So this one is a lot different than all the other ones. It comes in this pot, but it's actually a liquid, and it says to shake well before opening it. And the packaging looks a lot like the powder foundation. As you can see, it kind of is runny. See how it's like dripping out? So it's a little bit messy. It does have a screen there that you know, catches the product, but this one is very water-based. It's very, very runny, and it has a dewy kind of satin finish. So all these other ones are a very thick consistency, and generally most of them have more of a matte finish because of the Amazonian clay. This one though, it has a dewier finish, and it's very lightweight and very watery. So if you like a very radiant kind of skin look to your skin, I'm actually wearing it today. You can see I have a lot of shine, sort of a dewy shininess, kind of that natural skin look on my face. This is what I'm wearing today. It's very lightweight also, which I like, whereas the other ones, in my opinion, are much heavier feeling because of that thick, moussey, matte kind of coverage. That consistency is much heavier feeling on the skin, whereas this one is very lightweight on the skin. So that's just the major difference. I do like this one. They have said that it is their fullest coverage foundation yet in terms of having the most pigment in it. I don't know that I agree that this is the fullest coverage yet. Of all of the foundations, I think the full coverage foundation and the Foundcealer have the most coverage. But of all of the ones that I mentioned, the liquid foundation and the BB liquid foundation, these have the most dewy finish. And then also I would say the tinted moisturizer has a slightly dewy finish, but really not. I mean, it's more of a natural matte. Tarte CC Primer Stick is the only one that I probably wouldn't wear alone. All the other ones I would feel very comfortable wearing alone, but this one for me, I would never just throw it on and go out the house. It just doesn't cover enough for me, and it doesn't make my skin look flawless enough for me to feel comfortable going out in the world with sort of all my redness and blotchiness kind of coming out. But if you are looking for a color correcting primer, you could give it a try. It's not been my favorite, but those are my thoughts. So before this video ends, I just wanted to hit on the brushes also that were recommended for each product and just kind of share my thoughts. So the Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation is sold or marketed to work with this big, fluffy, dome-shaped synthetic buffer brush. I don't really like using this brush with this foundation. I think it's too big. I think it's not very precise and it's hard to use. I also think it eats up a lot of the product. So if I were you and you're looking for this, looking into getting this, or you have it and you've been thinking about the brush, I personally would recommend passing on the brush. It's not my favorite. I like to apply this with the Sigma F80 Flat Top Kabuki. This is my favorite brush. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more precise, and it also controls the product a lot easier on the face. So I would definitely opt for this brush, or just try using this brush if you already have it with the full coverage foundation. As I mentioned, the Amazonian Clay Mineral Foundation comes with this airbrush kabuki. I think these two work perfectly together. I think it would be really hard to use this product without this brush, so if you're gonna get this, I would recommend getting the brush. It fits perfectly into this mesh area, and it really is so dense, and it applies really beautifully, so I love that brush. I think they did a great job with that one. The BB Tinted Primer, I bought this on QVC with this brush. It's a small kind of flat top brush. I think a flat top brush works really, really well with this foundation as well. This one came with it from QVC, but again, I think the F80 would work really well with this one. The Foundcealer came with this double-ended brush, and I really love this brush. This one is synthetic. It's tapered to more of a dome shape, and it has the other end with the kind of concealer brush, and this together is perfection. The liquid foundation came with this sort of angled flat top brush in the kit that I got it with. I will tell you, this isn't my favorite brush for some reason. It's almost like a little too small. Like, I feel like it takes forever for me to do my foundation with this, but it does work really well because the opening in it is like the same size. But I mean, I don't know. This brush is nice, but I think it's just a little too small. I'm sure you could use this one or this one the exact same way, but it works well. And then the BB Liquid Perfection came with this really weird kind of like painty looking brush. I don't know. I mean, this to me is just weird. It kind of looks like a foundation brush with like a cut. It's like a slanted weird brush. I don't know. I mean, not my favorite again with this kind of liquid product. I prefer the kind of buffer brushes like this, but I have found I really like this brush for contouring with like cream products, the cheekbones. But yeah, this is the brush it came with. Again, not really sold on that being the best option. So anyways, guys, I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I know this is a lot of information, so hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.